For allowing us to glorify you through witnessing great sport of basketball. May your spirit live in these players, helping them play to the best of their ability and cherish this time together as teammates and friends. May your blessing descend on our staff, teachers, and coaches, for without their dedication to the betterment of our players and students, the power of education would be severely diminished. And may the Lord keep all of you safe in the face of the ongoing pandemic that affects all of us, so that we can be together once again. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, everyone. If you would face the flag and Lincoln Christian, if you remember, it is to your immediate left. And the Concordia band, under the direction of Mr. Peter Funk, will play our national anthem.
So it's on this camera too, because
all right, everyone, the road to Grand Island continues from here. Are you ready for some tournament basketball? And let's meet starting lineups for tonight's game. First for Lincoln Christian, a 7-foot senior, number 0, Easton Marshbanks. 6-foot senior, number 1, Ethan Barrier. A 6-foot senior, number 4, Gage Holland. A 6'2" freshman, number 5, Cohen Sand. And a 5'9" senior, number 22, Kobe Hansen. And Crusaders are coached by Gary Nunnally, assisted by Chad Hansen, Noah Boardman, Josh Nunnally, and Mike Ringen. And now let's meet the starting lineup for your Concordia Mustangs. At guard, 6'1" senior, number 3, Brock Wilson. basket is good by using Marshbanks. And it follows George to Mustang
in the quarter, including a couple three-pointers. He also went one for one from the free throw line. And then you had Masson with 6, a couple of threes. Koulis and Olsen each with a triple. And then O'Harity with 2. Leading the way, well, I guess you got to go back to Marshbanks. He's got 3 points. And then Barrier, Sands, and Hansen, or check that, Hollenbeck, each with 2 for the team tonight after the first quarter. Last week when these two teams met, it was a 17-12 Crusaders lead, and tonight it's a 23-9 Mustang lead. And this is the game that really matters. Last week was just a precursor, a warm-up to tonight. Tonight's the game that both teams really want to win.
Certainly you have to think tonight's going to end up being a battle of the offenses, even as much as last week was a battle of the defenses, and the second quarter is now underway. The Mustangs with the ball, and this dynamic scoring lineup looking to keep on scoring here. 23 points already.
Yeah, the Mustangs riding a 12-game win streak this year. They went 23-5 last year, but never won 12 in a row.
Yeah, the Mustangs know that they should be 14-0 right now. They lost a close game to Fort Calhoun, and unequivocally the worst varsity basketball game I have seen in 4 years here at Concordia. An all-around poor effort from the entire team, and they rebounded strongly after that, as the win streak tells. 12 consecutive wins, including last week against this Lincoln Christian team. Here we see Crusaders working the ball around the perimeter. Easton Marshbanks from 3, and the big man can shoot. Cans a basket. It is 23-12. Marshbanks showing that he's valuable from the perimeter, even as he is valuable from the post. Obviously a lethal asset for this Crusaders team, as we saw last week.
But if I'm the Mustangs, I'd want Marshbanks shooting beyond the arc all night compared to dominating inside. So if he goes out there, let him go out there. He's not going to beat you from outside.
Marshbanks certainly more of a threat inside. This Mustangs team is content to let him shoot. At this point, they know that Marshbanks is either going to beat them inside, or the Lincoln Crusaders guards are going to have to beat them on the outside. And that is a trade they're willing to make. Marshbanks again with the ball on the perimeter. Lincoln Christian looking to set up some open passes off the pass and cut to guys like Luke Hovendick and the freshman Cohen Sand out on the perimeter. Still not seeing many opportunities, and Sand loses the ball in the air. It's snagged by Elliott Wilson, and he works the ball up to Karsten Matson. 6 minutes to go in the second quarter. Matson for 2 from the corner, unable to put it down, and Justin Otten bats the ball out of Marshbanks' hands. Lincoln Crusaders will get the ball.
Yeah, so the Mustangs jumped out to a 9-2 lead. Since then, it's been 14-10. The Crusaders playing a little bit more even, still down by 11 points. But you're starting to see the game kind of, the gap close a little bit more.
You're seeing this Lincoln Christian Crusaders lineup kind of ease into their offense and get settled. They certainly were playing a little hurried early on, and we had a hard collision there. Looked like either a headbutt or an accidental elbow there to the big man, Quentin McCafferty, and then Easton Marshbanks. And looks like McCafferty came in a little too hard there, hit Marshbanks in the back, caught an elbow for his trouble, but the Crusaders will get possession here as Otten checks in for McCafferty.
Yeah, and that's for McCafferty, his second personal foul, so a little bit early to pick up 2 fouls for the big guy underneath, especially when you're going to need him down the stretch, so he'll probably be riding the pine for a little bit, if possible.
Fouls are a real issue for Quentin McCafferty, and it's something that Coach Kent Koulis is going to have to hammer out in the 2 years he has left with Quentin McCafferty. As Crusaders work the ball inside to Marshbanks, Hovendick fakes a 2, and he's immediately swarmed by the Mustangs offense. Marshbanks with a hook, and rolls around and in. Marshbanks again converts and brings the Mustang lead down to single digits for the first time in a while now. Brock Olson controlling the ball at the top of the perimeter for the Mustangs.
Yeah, so far the shooting has kind of cooled off a bit for the Mustangs.
Nice take from Zach Koulis, the star point guard for this Mustangs offense. He scores a nice reverse layup, and a hustle play on defense wins the Mustangs the ball. And looks like the shooting guard, Karsten Masson, will check in for Elliot Wilson. Masson, the floor general, barking some plays at this Mustangs offense, trying to get them going again. That bucket by Koulis, only the second one they've scored. Oh, the first one they scored this quarter. I stand corrected.
Yeah, and that was a nice reverse layup by Koulis on their last possession, utilizing the basket, the rim, to kind of protect him from Marshbanks.
Excellent control and a very smart play. Koulis, known for his finishes at the basket. Not quite the shooter that Matheson is, but an all-around player that is irreplaceable on this Mustangs offense. Otten out on the perimeter. He's already made 2 3-pointers on the day. And Alharathi trapped under the basket by Marshbanks. Good defense there. Otten winds up and misses from 3. Ethan Barrier with the rebound.
It looked like a block to Mustang fans, but Otten called for the body foul, getting them on the shot.
Hard contact there on the body. Barrier calling for a sub. He came down hard on his right side, able to draw the foul, and Barrier, a pretty consistent and reliable free throw shooter, but certainly going to be interesting to see if number 42, Ethan Hollenbeck, who is Barrier's sub, how he'll be able to hold his own.
Yeah, Barrier had 2 points Thursday night in the Crusaders' loss to the Mustangs.
Ken Koulis of the Mustangs giving them a thumbs up as Easton Marshbanks checks out. I am assuming that they're going to come out in a different offensive set here, trying to take advantage of Marshbanks' absence down low as Barrier now checks out. Score 25-16, just under 4 minutes to play here in the second quarter. Inside pass batted away.
Let's see, with Marshbanks on the bench, an opportunity perhaps to go inside.
Mustangs look like they tried to take advantage of that early on, but it was batted away by Ethan Hollenbeck. Koulis drives inside, and again, excellent control of his body, twisting his upper half to negate the speed with which he was coming at the basket, able to soften that bounce off the board enough to sink the layup. Lead now 11 as Cohen Sand loses a dribble. Zach Koulis with the steal, and the Mustangs with the ball.
Well, I think Alharathi got away with a travel there, but the shot blocked regardless.
It's a spectacular pass from Matheson, but Alharathi was not able to convert, hung in the air a bit too long, trying to get a grip on the ball. It was blocked by number 4, Gage Holen, and Matheson, clearly upset, snags a bad foul here in the second quarter.
A couple nice drives by Koulis going inside as Marshbanks enters the game again for the Crusaders, getting that height back in there.
Marshbanks, irreplaceable on the Crusaders offense. Played well by Zach Alharathi. The Mustangs get the ball, and Justin Otten ignites the student section with a dunk on the fast break, the assist to Brock Olson. And this Mustangs team is energized, and the arena is loud.
11 points for Otten in the game. That matches what he did Thursday night.
That is spectacular. In his last 4 quarters against Lincoln Christian, Justin Otten with 22 points. An all-around impressive performance in both the second half of the game we saw here last week and coming out with a banger here in the first half.
Yeah, he laced up those Air Jordans and went flying.
That is Justin Otten. And he's done that a couple times this year, thrown down a dunk, and the student section has loved it every time, but especially in a big game like this one in the conference tournament. the role that the student section is going to play in getting them fired up cannot be understated. Brock Olson with the drive, puts up a floater and gets the roll. Olson converts. The Mustangs lead now at 13. Lincoln Christian again passing around the perimeter. Luke Hovendick winds up a three, and on his old home court, Luke Hovendick knocks down a three, which equals his point total from last week's game.
Yeah,
a single three-point shot.
He drained a three last time. He said he was a good three-point shooter.
Very, very, very good from the perimeter. Susceptible to pressure, though, and you see Justin Otten, made for the moment, converts on the taller defender and gets the and one. Justin Otten coming out of the gates sprinting here tonight, and he's going to be a problem that the Lincoln Christian Crusaders are going to have to adapt to as the game goes on, already with 13 points.
Not only was that a good play, but he went after Marshbanks, and Marshbanks picks up his second foul, and he'll probably be done for the half. Marshbanks can't pick up a third.
The gym goes silent, and Justin Otten hits his free throw. Mustangs will likely attack the inside here on the final possession they'll presumably be getting, as you said, with Marshbanks checking out due to netting 2 fouls in the first 2 quarters. And Crusaders probably looking to put down a shot here with Marshbanks out. Hovendick cuts around, and ball stuck in the corner for the Crusaders. Not yet able to work it out to the top of the key, and it appears the Crusaders will play for the last shot here. Wise decision. Kobe Hansen will control the ball up top. 10 seconds left to play. The high screen by Hollenbeck. Hansen drives, puts up a layup with 5 seconds still to go. Brock Olson. The designated shooter for the Mustangs, Elliott Wilson, pulls up with a second left on the clock from well beyond the three-point line and puts down an impressive shot. And the arena once again loud as the Mustangs head to the half, 37-21. Son, could you catch us up on the score in there?
Watch it. Here it comes again. As you see, you've got a dunk by Otten as he goes up in the air and stuffs it home. That starts the electricity to get the momentum back to the Mustangs. And then at the buzzer, that pretty much nails, as they say, the nail in the coffin for the Crusaders, because I don't think they're going to be able to overcome this 16-point deficit, the Crusaders. Plus the momentum is all towards the Mustangs with that shot.
Certainly a pivotal point in that second quarter. Justin Otten gets the building roaring. And now we step aside as the Concordia dance team performs. And welcome back atop Jerry Fletcher Court. Lewis Thune alongside Son Edom as we prepare for the second half between the Concordia Mustangs and the Lincoln Christian Crusaders. The second time these teams have met in 2 weeks. The Mustangs hanging on to a 37-21 lead here. And Son, could you catch us up on the scoring?
Yeah, leading the way for the Mustangs is Otten with 14 points, including a couple three-pointers. Colas with 7, Matson with 6, Olson with 5. And leading the way for the Crusaders, Marshbanks with 10. But the big shot was Wilson with his buzzer beater. I think that energized the entire crowd. I think the dance team had more pop in their step. The band is playing a little bit more exciting, and the atmosphere hasn't died down from that buzzer beater that sent this gym into a frenzy. And I think the momentum is definitely on the side of the Mustangs, and unless they have an absolute complete collapse, which I don't foresee, they should have this game well in hand.
Wilson sealing a strong first half from the Mustangs with an excellent shot at the buzzer. And Son, let me ask you, since you were spot on last week about the second half prediction, who's going to make the difference this second half, either for the Mustangs or the Crusaders?
Well, I think it goes back to Marshbanks. If the Crusaders are going to do anything, it has to be Marshbanks and maybe someone like Sands putting in a couple threes and loosening that defense. Get that defense extended. Otherwise, it's just going to be a long night for the Crusaders offensively. And for the Mustangs, just do what you do. I mean, they came out on fire with 6 3-pointers in the first. Just keep playing your game. Feed Otten since he's the hot hand, and you'll have this game well in hand.
Mustangs going to feed off their offense, like you said, and the Crusaders will look to make Easton Marshbanks more of a factor. Had a relatively quiet first half considering the test subject of last week's game, where Marshbanks was pretty much the whole of the Crusaders' offense as the Mustangs look for a bucket here, and they get it. Zach Alharathi inside, scores under the hoop with the assist from Zach Koulis, and the Crusaders get the ball looking to score here in the second half, their first possession. An airball three-point shot from Luke Hovenick.
Alharathi with 4 points on the night.
Crusaders again passing around the perimeter, looking to set up open look with that movement. Still not seeing a lot of screens on or off the ball, mostly just trying to get to the corner and an entrance to Easton Marshbanks. Justin Otten takes a layup in and gets fouled hard from number 22, Kobe Hansen. He will head to the line.
Well, Hansen wasn't going to allow Otten to dunk that thing like he did last time. He's going to make him earn it from the free throw line. You've got to get momentum away from the Mustangs if you're the Crusaders, and allowing another dunk isn't going to do that. So you've got to put him at the free throw line where he has a hot hand, as I guess I jinxed him, but he has a hot hand from the free throw line as of late. Make him earn it.
Just as the dunk motivated the Concordia student section, you got to believe if Otten was able to put down a dunk there in front of the Lincoln Christian student section, that entire side of the arena would be quiet for a couple minutes. And Otten nets his second free throw. 19-point lead for the Mustangs as the Crusaders, again, look to score this third quarter. Cohen Sand inside, puts in a 2-point bucket. Sand, just a freshman, but already an important part in this Lincoln Christian offense. Scored the second most points again that we saw last week behind Easton Marshbanks. He's going to be valuable for this Lincoln Christian team as they lose guys like Marshbanks and Ethan Barrier next year. Mustangs now with a 7-point lead, taking their time to set up the offense, and almost a nice steal there from Gage Holland. Takes to the ground after the ball and just out of bounds. The Mustangs will retain possession, and Brock Olson will control the ball at the top of the key.
Yeah, right now you just got to avoid those kind of silly mistakes. Otten knows better than have the ball stripped away like that. Just play your game, relax. You've got a comfortable lead, in fact, commanding lead. And so just go out there, play your game. Don't force anything. Don't force the issue and lose the game as opposed to the Crusaders winning the game.
You see some great pressure defense there from Gage Holland, and there a jump ball between Brock Olson and Cohen Sand. Olson losing the dribble. Like you said, some unforced mistakes, some stupid errors could bring this Lincoln Christian Crusaders team back into the game. Now, a 17-point deficit, but that has a way of disappearing as the Mustangs make mistakes. So, like you said, it is going to be important that the Mustangs control the pace of this game in the second half. Make sure they're the ones dictating how it goes.
The other thing, if you're the Mustangs, you got to realize that if you win, you play on. So even though you have a big lead, you want to commit those fundamentals and make it, because you still have to prepare for your next contest in Grand Island.
Yeah, teams like Grand Island Central Catholic or the reigning champion Kearney Catholic Stars are going to capitalize on every mistake the Mustangs give them. So the fundamentals of the game are going to be very important to hammer down in these early games. Al-Harathi fouled and knocks down his first free throw.
Mustangs 4 or 5 from the free throw line tonight. They were 12 of 18 in their game against the Crusaders on Thursday, which was another big reason why they were able to come back and win the game.
Gage Cholin and Easton Marshbanks, a miscommunication there on an uncontested rebound, and an unforced error will give the Mustangs the ball back under the basket. Matheson, the floor general, commands the play, and his pass to Otten off target. Crusaders get the steal, and will look to set up the offense. Luke.
See, as I say, now there's an example. Marshbanks was out beyond the three-point line. He was nowhere underneath for rebounding positioning, and the Mustangs were able to use their height advantage underneath to get the board.
Ovendick put up the three there for the Crusaders. That's 2 shots this quarter for him and 2 misses. Mustangs want to extend this lead, hopefully get it into the 20s, and that would be a massive vote of confidence in this second half, as time is just going to become a factor from here on. Otten with an excellent fadeaway jumper, and Justin Otten showing again how valuable he is to this Mustangs offense.
17 points tonight for Otten. Do you know what his season high is?
I do not. I would assume, I believe he scored around 18 in the season opener against Boys Town. So another bucket from Otten would probably put him at his season high. Koulis able to nail down a little crossover dribble and get control of the ball. Puts in his layup, and the Mustangs now take a 22-point lead. Lincoln Christian unable to get this offense rolling, unable to get the ball to Marshbanks down low. But Kobe Hansen, the smallest player on the court for Lincoln Christian, converts inside on a taller defender.
Yeah, one thing that's nice about this for the Mustangs is you're showing your opponents that you're going to have to stop all 5 of us, as opposed to Keenan, Koulis, or Matheson. You know, you have to focus on everybody.
Matheson again showing his intelligence on the court. Extremely smart when it comes to drawing fouls. Matheson draws that foul and gets to the line for 3.
Yeah, here's just a nice steal by the Mustangs, getting that bucket in the open field, and Koulis going in with the left-handed layup, showing versatility, getting the deuce, extending that lead.
Saw Koulis almost lost the dribble there, looking up at the defender. He's luckily able to corral it later on and put in a nice layup with his left hand at full speed going down the court. Matheson puts down his first 2 free throws and a final one to make it 3 points on the play.
Sometimes when you get those breakaways, you start licking your chops a little too soon and you lose the handle, and then tragedy happens.
Sadly, I have experienced that many times myself. But it's good to know that Zach Koulis does not make the mistakes I make. Elliot Wilson is checked in for Brock Olson, and Cohen Sen takes the ball inside. Easton Marshbanks grabs the rebound but is unable to convert. And the Mustangs run in transition. Unable to get the look they want, but Matheson again draws a foul, this time on number 30, Cameron Herrera.
Yeah, 3 minutes into this third quarter, the Mustangs have yet to commit a foul. They've been able to play some controlled basketball, which is something that's, going to be crucial, because we've seen them kind of get sloppy at times. But tonight they're playing a well-executed ball and not taking too many chances. They've had that one stint where they had a couple, loose balls knocked away, but otherwise they're playing pretty controlled basketball here tonight.
Easton Marshbanks has checked out for the Crusaders. looks like he might have a little cut on his wrist there, getting looked at by the trainer. And as he went out, the Mustangs general, as I keep repeating, Karsten Matheson put his thumb up, signaling that they're going to try and work that ball inside to the big men. They now have Quentin McCafferty and Zach Alharathi on the court.
Yeah, nobody's going to stop that right now on the floor.
Alharathi has improved his drive and score ability over 4 years here at Concordia, and you see it there on a bit of a slower defender. He's able to convert.
And that's the advantage with McCafferty and Alharathi in there right now. They're both the two tallest guys on the team. They get positioning. They're going to dominate the boards here right now.
Could turn out to be an ugly second half for this Crusaders team if they can't find a way to get a bucket. And they're missing 2 shots near the basket. The Mustangs get the ball, now up 50-25, doubling up the Lincoln Christian Crusaders. 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. Matheson draws another foul, heads to the line again.
Yeah, I like the reaction from Cameron Herrera there, looking. It's like the old Magic Johnson or Isaiah Thomas or maybe Steph Curry. The whine, like, what, me? It's on me. I didn't commit the foul. You got to be crazy.
It's always tough to get called for a foul there inside, and especially when it's not hard contact coming down. When you're following the guy, it's frustrating as a defender, and that's the second foul that Matheson has drawn on Herrera in a matter of minutes. So Herrera is definitely frustrated with that matchup. As you see, Matheson drains his first free throw and looks to get another. Matheson misses. Crusaders get the rebound, and they need to cut this deficit quickly if they want to have a chance in this fourth quarter. Marshbanks still out, and Crusaders looking to set up something around the three-point line.
See, the Crusaders, I don't think they have the three-point shooting skills this year to be able to compete with a team that's able to make a bunch of threes and get those extra points.
Yeah, there's a bad miss there from Gage Holen. Rebound to Herrera, and the Crusaders will look to get a better shot off. Cohen Sand drives in again. Excellent at driving and scoring, even as he is just a freshman. Hugh McCafferty picks up another foul. That puts him at 3 on the night. And again, that foul trouble for Quentin McCafferty is going to be a factor later on in the season. They're going to need McCafferty more and more, subbing him out for Alharathi and Auten, keeping them fresh. And Hugh McCafferty's just got to find a way to crack down on those fouls.
That's good basketball instinct, though, by Sands, knowing the outside game isn't working, so why not penetrate, try to draw the foul. Maybe you get one of the big guys out like McCafferty and give Marshbanks a better opportunity inside with one of the big men for the Mustangs on the bench.
Cohen Sand knocks down both his free throws. He is going to be an asset for this Lincoln Christian team. Anytime you get a starting job as a freshman, it's a big deal, but especially a team like Lincoln Christian with a prodigious basketball team always seem to be near the top of Class C1 every year. Oh, near turnover there from the Mustangs as Quentin McCafferty was able to corral the ball and get it out to Brock Olson. Pass inside, and Quentin McCafferty, nimble, makes his way to the other side of the hoop and converts. Mustangs up 53-27, less than a minute to play in the third quarter.
Is it too early to start calling for Jip?
It's never too early to start calling for Jip. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Jip play a decent chunk of this fourth quarter.
Yeah, you're up almost double, 26 points. Game is well in hand. You don't want to risk your starters getting hurt.
See, I don't understand why they don't put Jip in right now. Coach Ken Koulis just called head tap, which means the Mustangs are going to play for the final shot and just control the ball at the top of the key. Wait till about 7 seconds left to make a move. Putting Jip in right there would be a smart move. You know, you could get him open in the corner, maybe get a shot down for Matthew Jip, and the student section would never be the same. Brock Olson knocks down another three-pointer for this Mustangs team, and they close out the third quarter just as dominant as the first half with an impressive 56-27 victory. And let's take a look. You see a great quick ball reversal there from Colton Strader. Hits Brock Olson down, and he knocks a bucket in, 56-27. Great all-around play for the Mustangs this quarter. What does the score sheet look like?
So leading the way for the Mustangs with 17 points, Otten. With 10 points is Masson. Most of those coming from the charity stripe. He has a couple three-point shots back in the first quarter. Colas with 9, Olsen with 8, now Harrity with 7. And, of course, leading the way still for the Crusaders, Marshbanks with 10, but he had 0 points there in that third quarter. They only picked up 6 points, I believe it was, in the quarter, did the Crusaders. And when you've got a 56-27 lead, what you want to do right now is not get sloppy, not turnover and stuff like that, stay in your game, but then you also want to protect your starters because you don't want them to get hurt. That's the last thing you want to do right now. So maybe we're going to see a bunch of subs coming in, getting some valuable court time because it might be important down the line. You never know with these tough games coming up what type of player. I mean, On stepped up last time, continues to do his work here, and so we'll see what happens here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that's right. You got to expect the Crusaders will come out shooting. They need some three-point shots to close this deficit if they want to stay alive in the conference tournament. Mustangs going to look to set the pace early on in this fourth quarter and close it out. Here you see Cohen Sand come inside, get spectacular errors, able to get a shot up over Justin Otten and draw the foul. Sand again heads back to the line for 2.
Personal and the team's second for the half. And Cohen Sand at the line for the Crusaders with 2 shots.
Yeah, the Mustangs outscoring their opponent that quarter 19-6, really putting this game away.
Yeah, if the Mustangs can control the first 3 to 4 minutes of this fourth quarter, you have to expect they're going to cruise the rest of the way. Maybe put some subs in, get some underclassmen a chance to improve their skills. They're going to need some contribution off the bench. You know, as we get later into the season, someone like Quentin McCafferty is going to get into foul trouble, and the Mustangs are going to have to adjust. See, Zach Kulis hits Brock Olsen out on the perimeter. Olsen misses right. Nearly a great save there from Justin Otten. But Marshbanks, pressured by Brock Olsen, picks the ball up and drags his pivot foot. The Mustangs will get the ball back, up 56-28, less than a minute away in the fourth quarter.
I think you get a sense of a little frustration on the part of Marshbanks, too.
Well, Marshbanks with a 21-point performance last week. He was certainly expecting to come out and see more of the same tonight, but the Mustangs have really taken the fight to him inside. They've had Quentin McCafferty and Zach Alharathi push him around, and they really haven't utilized the double team, which we saw last week. Gage Holen misses inside, and the Mustangs get the ball back.
Yeah, not only that are they limiting his points, they're limiting his rebounding opportunities.
I think what you saw tonight from the Mustangs was they were able to make the Lincoln Christian guards take control of the game and try and make them as the scoring force on this team, and effectively taking Marshbanks out of the game. The Lincoln Christian guards and their shooters weren't able to make that much of a difference. Besides Cohen Sand.
Oh, nice move.
An excellent take, ducking under 3 defenders in the air, but he's unable to convert. That shot's going to be going down as he progresses through his years at Lincoln Christian, but it doesn't go in there, and the Mustangs come back, and Zach Kulis from the corner drains a 3.
Yeah, he's got 14 points tonight.
That's 61 points on the night for the Mustangs. Excellent three-point shooting. Holen again misses. Olsen will get the rebound, and the Mustangs will pace the game. You see, checking in for the Mustangs per the timeout, Jack Thrasher, Jackson Shepard, Colton Strader, and Elliott Wilson. They're taking out the starters for sure.
Yeah, 61-28, just some nice play here to open up the fourth quarter for the Mustangs. You know, they're getting all-around play from, you know, all the players, a lot of hustle, a lot of heart. This is, in fact, I believe their last home game. So for the seniors, their last opportunity to play here on their home court, and they're leaving it all out there. Still plenty of basketball yet to be played, including the state tournament in Lincoln. But last time playing on this home court, I'm imagining, unless something happens, you know, where they get to host something. But this is it. They're putting it out there, hearts on the sleeve, and let it fly.
It's going to be interesting to see. The Mustangs bench is now checked in. You got the younger guys in there, and of course, the 6th and 7th men off the bench, and Quentin McCafferty and Elliott Wilson. A nice assist from Jack Thrasher. Gets the ball to Quentin McCafferty inside, and they convert. 63-28 Mustangs, and about 5 minutes to play here in this final quarter.
Yeah, the Mustangs jumping out to that 9-2 lead to start the game. They've never looked back.
Luke Hovendick likes his chances against the smaller freshman, and he gets fouled and is going to head to the free throw line. And being a former Mustang, this student section is going to be merciless on this free throw. So we'll be interested to see how they treat him.
He has 3 points tonight, a three-pointer. He had 3 points Thursday night when these two teams met here. Now at the free throw line with his first free throw attempts.
And the Mustang student section chanting air ball in reference to Hovendick's air ball from the left corner earlier on in this half. But Hovendick able to knock down the free throw. Puts down his second free throw, pushing him to 5 points on the night. 63-30 Mustangs, as Jackson Shepard will bring the ball up. Mustangs looking to break the Lincoln Christian press.
Yeah, a little too late for the press, but
Coach Koulis will call a timeout. Team nearly lost it there, trying to work the ball through the press. And
up by 33, the Mustangs with the game well in hand will start to look toward their next opponent. And it'll be interesting to see what happens in this upcoming, the rest of the conference tournament, because I think right now the Mustangs have set themselves up to be one of the teams that could come away with the conference championship. Obviously, they've had a lot of success here on their home floor this year. They've lost only one game, and that was the second game of the season, so they've been on quite a roll. But I think they have the potential to win this thing. They just got to execute and play their game and not get ahead of themselves.
Jack Thrasher from three. Like you said, the Mustangs have shown that they're a tough team in the Centennial Conference, and they certainly have a chance at taking away that conference championship in Grand Island.
I don't know who would be favorite. I mean, you always look at the Grand Island schools or maybe Kearney, people like that have a long-standing program of success as to be the favorites. But why not the Mustangs? They've got the talent, they've got the ability, they've got all the tangibles. They've got 6 solid players with McCafferty coming off the bench. I mean, they've got all the tools to make a complete run here deep in the postseason and getting back to state and giving state a run for their money.
I think what we've also seen from this Mustangs team is some stifling defense. Losing Gage Kansmeyer this season was a big deal. He was one of the best defenders that this program had seen. But you see, this Lincoln Christian offense has been lethal in Class C all year, been putting up large point totals almost every game you see. But last week holding them to 43 and this week to 30. Wilson with a steal. And not quite the Justin Otten. He will settle for a breakaway layup and will put the Mustangs up 38 points, 68-30.
And the other thing I think the Mustangs have going for them is this has been a travel-dominant schedule for them. They've only had a limited number of games here at home, and so they're used to playing on the road, and I think that's going to help them out as well.
The Mustangs with a great road record this year. Their one loss did come on the road to Fort Calhoun. But like I said, that game was quite the outlier in the Mustang season so far. Ace Ekman denies a pass to the post, and looks like a foul inside there from Jack Thrasher. Chase Bogues will check in for the Mustangs, and that means every player on the Mustangs bench has checked in besides Matthew Jipp. But you see, he has been called up to sit at the top of the bench right next to Coach Chris Bartles and Coach Ken Koulis. So you have to expect we're going to see him here as the clock winds down, and that'll be an exciting thing to see, as it always is. And Cade Marshbanks misses from three. Younger one of the Marshbanks, sophomore, and only, if you can believe it, 6'3".
So basically what you're looking at is the future of the Mustangs right now out on the floor. Probably the same for the Crusaders. You might see these 10 players matching up somewhere down the road.
That's right. Certainly guys like Chase Bogues, Jackson Shepard, and Jack Thrasher are going to be important for this Mustangs team. And on the other side, Cohen Sand will be heading into his sophomore year looking to improve. Luke Hovendick will be heading into his senior year. As good a shooter as ever as he knocks down a 3. That gives him 8 on the night and gives the Crusaders 33. Mustangs with 2.5 left, and Matthew Jipp has checked in at the scorer's table. So the next time we see the clock stop, we will see Matthew Jipp enter into the game.
You know, the Mustangs needed to shut down Marshbanks, and if you did, you were going to win. Obviously, their offense was really hot tonight, making those early threes. But he only had 10 points, all coming in that first half. Outside of that, they did a good job of shutting them down. And I think the one-dimensional aspect of the offense without any help really hurt the Crusaders here tonight. Marshbanks had like no help from the perimeter game at all.
You saw with the dominant first half from the Mustangs, we expected that Lincoln Christian was going to come out of the half making the adjustments and trying to set the pace of the second half, but precisely the opposite happened. Like you said, they've held Easton Marshbanks to 10 points all in the first half and have effectively blanked this Lincoln Christian team in the second half. Jackson Shepard to the line, misses his first free throw, and checking in is number 1, Matthew Jipp for number 25, Colton Strader. We'll see if Matthew Jipp will net his first points of the year with 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Shepard misses both free throws, and the Crusaders look to get some extra points here in garbage time. Cade Marshbanks no good from 3, and Matthew Jipp with the ball.
Jipp's got to bring that up. He's got to make the most of his time in the limelight.
They're going to have to call an isolation play out to Matthew Jipp. He cuts around, guarded by number 21, Ty Hansen. Jipp with the ball out front, passes to the cutting Chase Bogues. You hear the student section light up anytime Jipp gets the ball as Bogues.
Well, Ty Hansen's playing some tough man-to-man defense on him.
Might see a little double, even a triple screen to get Matthew Jipp open. Luke Hovendick misses a 3, but it is cleaned up by Ethan Hollenbeck. And the Crusaders will call timeout to get number 52, Parker Bosch, in. That is Parker Bash. My apologies.
Yeah, Hollenbeck with his 4th point.
Matthew Jipp lined up at the corner. Jace Bogues with the ball at the top of the key. Jipp cuts around a screen from Jack Thrasher, receives a pass, and then dishes it to Bogues.
Oh, too bad they didn't turn around.
Inbound play, and this looks to be designed for a shooter from what I know of Mustangs inbound play. It's a triple screen for Matthew Jipp, and he gets the ball up top, but he gets rid of it. Such an unselfish play from Matthew Jipp, but sadly not what the student section wants to see. Ty Hansen with the ball up top will pass to Cade Marshbanks, and he'll wind up for 3. Cashes it in this time. Gives the Crusaders 38 on the night. Mustangs ahead 30 with about 30 to play here in the final quarter.
There he is. Take it.
Jipp for 3.
Oh!
Too far.
That looked good. Get out to him. He's open.
It's saved. Thrasher is pinned down low. Yeah, it's stolen by the 6'3", Cade Marshbanks. And Crusaders will just dribble out the clock. Unless Ty Hansen for 3 misses. Bogues with the board. And that's the game. Here at Jerry Fletcher Court, the Mustangs improve on last week's 10-point victory against the Lincoln Christian Crusaders tonight, walking away 68-38, a 30-point blowout. This Mustangs team really got their offense going this game, and they kept it steady throughout the game. Guys like Justin Otten and Zach Alharathi making a big difference in spectacular guard play. Let's take a look at the play that really changed the game.
There's Colas coming down with that breakaway layup, getting some couple of points. Again, it was really that offensive. Look at that ball movement going inside to the big guy. And then you've got the defense coming back the other way, knocking the ball away. I mean, it was just an all-around kind of game, getting those hands in there, knocking those balls away. Speaking of Colas, he ended the night 14 points for the senior on his final night. Otten led the way with 17 points. Matheson had 10 points. Olson had 8, leading the way. Alherthy with 7. And then Marshbanks leading the way for the Crusaders with 10 points, all coming in the first half. It was a complete domination on the part of the Mustangs. All they did was come out, make threes in the first quarter, and ended the game right there in that 9-2 run. From that point on, it was over. The Mustangs advancing, moving on in the conference playoffs, where they will head to Grand Island and play on the road and try to wrap up this conference tournament.
Saw some great hustle plays in the third quarter, set the tone of the second half, and put the game away for the Mustangs. Like you said, heading to Grand Island, hopefully to close out this conference tournament for the better, trying to get their first conference championship here in the Centennial Conference. Son, how about a final thought for tonight's game?
Well, the Mustangs, they end up a 13-game win streak. They won their 13 in a row. They go to 14-1 now on the season. They're on a great run. Like I said, they've got all the players, all the tangibles, everything that you need to make a huge run here through the rest of the postseason into districts and state. And I think tonight was just kind of the exclamation point on the first part of the season, okay? Now you're going to start to get into the meat of the season, what you really play for, and that's the postseason. Prepare for state. They finished third last year at state. They're hungry for a better finish. They want to get into that championship game and win the championship. I think with their schedule this year being road heavy helps with especially now Otten and Olson coming up and stepping up big these last couple of games. It gives the opposition, wait a minute, we've got to now worry about 5 guys instead of 3. And so I think it really bodes well for them moving forward, having these last couple of games and a dominating win tonight.
The Mustangs aspiring for a conference championship. And with that in mind, we sign off atop Jerry Fletcher Court.